Welcome to Unsolved Historical Mysteries. The vanished caravans of Death Valley, secrets hidden in a forbidden land. Death Valley's overview and the origin of its name. Welcome, fellow explorers. Today, we delve into one of the most treacherous and enigmatic regions on Earth, Death Valley, a place where the sun's unrelenting heat scorches the ground, and temperatures often soar past 130 degrees Fahrenheit. But what lies behind this ominous name? And why has Death Valley become synonymous with danger and mystery? Death Valley, located in eastern California, is part of the Mojave Desert and holds the title of the hottest and driest place in North America. Its vast expanse stretches over 3 million acres of rugged terrain, salt flats, sand dunes, and rocky canyons. While its current state seems uninhabitable, the valley has a fascinating history. Native Americans, specifically the Timbisha Shoshone people, lived in this area for thousands of years, adapting to its extreme conditions. To them, Death Valley wasn't a barren wasteland, but a home filled with spiritual significance. The name, Death Valley, however, emerged during the California Gold Rush in the mid-1800s. In 1849, a group of pioneers, seeking a shortcut to California's goldfields, ventured into the valley. Unfamiliar with the harsh environment, many suffered from dehydration, starvation, and the merciless sun. The valley's unforgiving nature claimed the lives of some members of the group, leading the survivors to christen it Death Valley, as they finally escaped its grasp. But Death Valley's reputation as a perilous place isn't just rooted in this one tragic event. Its extreme conditions have challenged travelers, settlers, and explorers for centuries. With some of the lowest rainfall in the United States and extreme summer temperatures, it's easy to see why this region has earned such a foreboding name. Interestingly, the landscape itself seems to reflect its ominous title. Salt flats stretch endlessly, their white crystals shimmering under the relentless sun, giving the illusion of water in the distance, a cruel mirage for anyone in desperate need of hydration. The desolate Panamint Range, towering over the valley, offers a stark reminder of the isolation felt by those who dared to traverse this unforgiving terrain. Yet, despite its dangerous reputation, Death Valley is not without its beauty. During rare spring rains, wildflowers bloom, covering the desert in a breathtaking tapestry of color. It's a stark contrast to the valley's usual monochromatic landscape, a reminder of nature's resilience even in the harshest conditions. But the mystery of Death Valley doesn't end with its extreme environment. Over the years, numerous stories of disappearing travelers and unexplained phenomena have added to its eerie allure. From the mysterious sailing stones that glide across the desert floor, to the chilling accounts of entire caravans vanishing without a trace, Death Valley is as much a place of wonder as it is of peril. Why do so many people feel drawn to this deadly land? Perhaps it's the allure of the unknown, the human desire to conquer the unconquerable, or the whispers of untold stories buried beneath the valley's sands. Whatever the reason, Death Valley's reputation as a land of mystery remains firmly intact. Why caravans ventured into Death Valley? Let's unravel an even deeper mystery. Why would anyone willingly venture into a place as unforgiving as Death Valley? What could possibly draw caravans, explorers, and settlers into a land where survival itself seems like an impossible feat? To understand this, we must step back in time. Death Valley's inhospitable reputation wasn't always known to everyone. For centuries, it was a largely unexplored region, with its secrets hidden behind the scorching heat and barren landscape. Yet, to some, this land represented opportunity. whether through trade, exploration, or sheer necessity. One of the earliest groups to traverse this region were the Native American tribes, particularly the Timbisha Shoshone people. To them, Death Valley wasn't a mere obstacle. It was a vital part of their homeland. They knew its hidden springs, seasonal resources, and how to survive in such a harsh environment. For the Timbisha Shoshone, the valley was a place of life, not death. They would travel in small groups, using trails that skirted the valley's more treacherous areas. As European settlers arrived in North America, Death Valley's role began to shift. By the mid-1800s, the discovery of gold in California sparked a massive migration westward. The California Gold Rush was a chaotic period, with thousands of prospectors and fortune seekers flooding the region in search of riches. Caravans of wagons became a common sight, and with them came the need for shortcuts to reach the goldfields. This is where Death Valley entered the picture. Many pioneers sought to cross it as a way to bypass longer, more established routes. Unfortunately, their lack of knowledge about the region's extreme conditions often led to disaster. The infamous Lost 49ers were one such group, stranded in the valley during the winter of 1849 to 1850. Their journey through Death Valley became a harrowing tale of survival, desperation, and loss. But it wasn't just gold that lured people into the valley. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Death Valley became the site of a booming mining industry. Borax, a valuable mineral used in cleaning products and industrial processes, was discovered in abundance. Mining companies quickly set up operations, and caravans of 20 mule teams transported tons of borax across the valley. These iconic mule teams became a symbol of resilience in the face of Death Valley's harsh environment. Despite the allure of wealth, the dangers of crossing Death Valley were ever present. Stories of caravans disappearing, possibly due to dehydration, heat exhaustion, or simply losing their way, became part of the valley's lore. For many, the promise of riches outweighed the risks, but the valley's unforgiving nature often had the final say. Interestingly, some caravans may have ventured into Death Valley, not for gold or borax but for its isolation. During certain periods, the valley offered a refuge for outlaws and renegades seeking to escape the reach of the law. Its remoteness made it an ideal hiding place for those on the run. Though surviving the conditions required exceptional skill or sheer luck, the valley's allure wasn't solely about practical reasons. To some, Death Valley held an almost mystical appeal. The stark beauty of its landscapes, combined with the challenge of surviving in such an extreme environment, drew adventurers and explorers looking to test their limits. Today, we view Death Valley with a sense of awe and respect. It's easy to imagine the courage or desperation it must have taken for those caravans to venture into its depths. Their stories remind us of humanity's relentless drive to explore and conquer the unknown, even when faced with insurmountable odds. Why is Death Valley considered so dangerous? Death Valley's name alone is a stark warning to all who dare venture into its bounds. But what makes this region so perilous? Let's dive deep into the dangers that earned Death Valley its fearsome reputation. A place where nature itself seems designed to test the limits of human endurance. 1. The scorching heat. First and foremost, Death Valley is infamous for its extreme heat. On July 10, 1913, it recorded a staggering temperature of 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 56.7 degrees Celsius at Furnace Creek, marking the highest air temperature ever reliably recorded on Earth. The valley regularly experiences summer temperatures exceeding 120 degrees Fahrenheit. with ground temperatures soaring even higher. Such intense heat poses an immediate risk to anyone caught unprepared. Dehydration can set in rapidly and without adequate water and protection. Heat exhaustion or heat stroke can be fatal. The body's ability to cool itself is overwhelmed, leading to symptoms such as confusion, dizziness, and unconsciousness, critical dangers in an isolated desert. 2. The deceptive terrain. Death Valley's landscape, while mesmerizing, is a minefield of natural hazards. Its salt flats, which stretch for miles, can appear as firm ground, but are often treacherous. Travelers attempting to cross them may find themselves sinking into sticky, muddy patches, slowing their progress and draining their energy. The valley's sand dunes, such as the Mesquite Flat Sand dunes, can be disorienting. Shifting sands and the absence of landmarks make navigation difficult, especially for those unfamiliar with the area. Coupled with the heat, it's easy to become lost, a dangerous prospect in a place with so few water sources. 3. Flash floods and sudden storms. Despite its reputation as the driest place in North America, Death Valley is not immune to rain. When storms do occur, they often bring sudden, intense rainfall. The barren, rocky ground cannot absorb water quickly, leading to flash floods that sweep through canyons and low-lying areas with little warning. These floods are not only destructive but can also trap unsuspecting travelers. Narrow canyons, such as those found in Mosaic Canyon or Golden Canyon, can become death traps as torrents of water surge through them, carrying debris and creating swift, powerful currents. 4. Isolation and lack of resources. Death Valley's vast expanse is one of its defining features, but it also makes rescue efforts challenging. With limited infrastructure and few inhabitants, anyone who becomes stranded is likely to face long waits for help. Cell phone service is sparse or non-existent in many areas, leaving travelers to rely on their own resources. Water sources are rare and often unreliable. Springs and seeps can dry up or contain water unsuitable for drinking. The valley's remote nature means that mistakes, like a vehicle breakdown or a navigation error, can quickly escalate into life-threatening situations. 5. The psychological impact of the environment. Beyond the physical challenges, Death Valley exerts a psychological toll on those who enter. The vast, empty landscape, combined with the oppressive heat and silence, can create feelings of isolation and unease. This psychological pressure can impair judgment, leading to poor decisions that compound the risks. For example, the heat can create mirages, tricking the eye into seeing non-existent water or distant landmarks. Travelers who follow these illusions may wander further off course, wasting precious energy and resources. 6. Wildlife and natural hazards. While Death Valley may seem devoid of life, it is home to various creatures, some of which can pose risks to humans. Rattlesnakes, scorpions, and black widow spiders are among the valley's inhabitants. A bite or sting from one of these creatures can be dangerous, particularly without immediate medical attention. In addition, the rugged terrain itself can cause injury. Sharp rocks, loose gravel, and steep canyon walls increase the risk of falls, cuts, or broken bones. For those venturing into less explored areas, even minor injuries can become serious in such an isolated environment. 7. The unpredictable nature of Death Valley. Finally, Death Valley's unpredictability adds to its danger. What might seem like a straightforward hike or drive can quickly turn hazardous due to sudden weather changes, mechanical failures, or underestimating the difficulty of the terrain. Even seasoned explorers have fallen victim to the valley's challenges. The stories of vanished caravans and lost travelers, remind us that Death Valley does not forgive mistakes. Death Valley is a place of stark contrasts, a land of haunting beauty and relentless danger. Its extremes have fascinated and tested humanity for centuries, offering a powerful reminder of nature's untamed power. Understanding these dangers is the first step to appreciating and surviving this enigmatic landscape. The earliest recorded cases of disappearances in Death Valley. When we think of the tragedies tied to Death Valley, one of the most iconic stories is that of the lost 49ers. This marks one of the earliest recorded cases of disappearances in this harsh land and serves as the foundation for the valley's ominous reputation. But how did this tragic event unfold, and what lessons were learned or perhaps ignored by those who followed? The Lost 49ers were a group of pioneers traveling west during the California Gold Rush in 1849. Like many others, they were lured by the promise of gold and riches in California, eager to stake their claim in the booming mining economy. However, their journey took a dark turn when they chose to follow an unproven shortcut known as the Old Spanish Trail, which promised a faster route through the deserts of Nevada and California. This shortcut led them straight into the unforgiving embrace of Death Valley. The pioneers, numbering around 100 men, women, and children, were woefully unprepared for the journey. They carried limited supplies, relied on livestock for transport, and had no knowledge of the region's harsh conditions. As they entered the valley, they were met with blistering heat, endless salt flats, and a vast, barren landscape that seemed to stretch forever. Soon, the group's resources began to dwindle. Water was scarce, and food supplies were rapidly depleted. The livestock, unable to withstand the extreme heat, started to die, leaving the pioneers stranded without transportation. As days turned into weeks, desperation set in. Families rationed their remaining food, but starvation loomed. Many attempted to trek across the valley on foot, hoping to find help, but the harsh environment claimed several lives. One of the most poignant moments of this tragedy was the death of a man named Asahel Bennett. His wife and children survived by walking out of the valley, with the help of Native American guides. But Bennett himself perished in the heat, a victim of dehydration and exhaustion. The surviving members of the group eventually managed to escape Death Valley, but not without significant losses. Their harrowing ordeal inspired the valley's name, as one survivor famously declared, "Goodbye, Death Valley," upon leaving its borders. The story of the Lost 49ers spread quickly, cementing Death Valley's reputation as a deadly, unforgiving place. But the 49ers were not the only ones to suffer in the valley. In the decades that followed, many more travelers would meet similar fates. Death Valley's harsh conditions continued to claim lives, becoming a sobering reminder of the dangers of underestimating nature's power. Clues left behind. Though some remains and artifacts from the Lost 49ers' journey have been discovered, much of their story remains shrouded in mystery. Scattered bones of oxen and abandoned wagons provide a haunting glimpse into the struggles faced by these pioneers. But the full extent of their journey, and the exact number of lives lost, may never be known. Lessons ignored. The tragedy of the Lost 49ers should have served as a warning to future travelers. However, the lure of wealth and opportunity often overshadowed caution. Despite the dangers, Death Valley continued to attract miners, settlers, and adventurers, many of whom would share the same fate. Other mysterious cases of disappearances in Death Valley. The Lost 49ers may be the most famous case tied to Death Valley, but their story is far from the only one. Over the centuries, The valley has been the site of numerous mysterious disappearances, each adding a new layer to its already infamous reputation. From miners to adventurers, Death Valley has claimed the lives of countless individuals, often leaving behind only cryptic clues, or nothing at all. 1. The case of the Bennett Arcane Party. The Bennett Arcane Party's disappearance is one of Death Valley's most enigmatic mysteries. This group of miners set out in the early 1900s, driven by rumors of rich mineral deposits hidden deep within the valley. Unlike other groups, they appeared to be well prepared, bringing adequate supplies and equipment. Yet, as history has shown, no amount of preparation guarantees survival in Death Valley. The party was last seen by another group of miners near a small spring in the Panamint Mountains. When they failed to return to their base camp weeks later, a search party was dispatched. What they found was baffling. The group's wagons and tools were abandoned near a dried-up water source, and their personal belongings were left scattered across the site. Further searches uncovered a tattered journal belonging to one of the party members. The final entries described increasingly erratic behavior among the group, mentioning arguments over navigation, dwindling water supplies, and ominous feelings of being followed. The last entry read, "We must move at dawn, but the path ahead seems cursed." The fate of the Bennett Arcane Party remains unknown, and their disappearance continues to fuel speculation about Death Valley's hidden dangers. 2. The vanishing of the Sullivan Expedition. In the 1930s, the Sullivan Expedition embarked on a scientific mission to study the geological formations of Death Valley. The group, composed of 3 researchers and a guide, was equipped with modern tools and communication equipment for the time. They planned to explore the racetrack playa, known for its mysterious sailing stones. The expedition's last known communication was a radio message, stating they were setting up camp near the playa. Days later, when they failed to report back, rescue teams were sent to locate them. What they found was chilling. The group's camp was intact, with food, water, and supplies untouched. The tents were still standing, and their vehicles were parked in good condition. However, there was no sign of the researchers or their guide. Tracks leading away from the campsite abruptly ended in the middle of the desert, as if the group had simply vanished into thin air. Searches continued for months, but no bodies or personal effects were ever recovered. To this day, the Sullivan Expedition is considered one of Death Valley's most perplexing disappearances. 3. Modern-day disappearances. While many of Death Valley's mysterious disappearances occurred in the distant past, they are not relics of history. Even in the modern era, with advanced technology and improved safety measures, the valley continues to swallow people whole. In 1996, a German family of 4, parents and 2 young children, embarked on a sightseeing trip through Death Valley. Their rental car was later found abandoned near Anvil Canyon, with personal belongings and maps left inside. Despite an extensive search involving helicopters, tracking dogs, and volunteers, no trace of the family was found until 2009, when scattered bones were discovered miles from the vehicle. The circumstances surrounding their deaths remain unclear, but theories range from dehydration to getting lost while seeking help. Another case occurred in 2013, when an experienced hiker named David Gonzalez set out to explore the Mesquite Flat sand dunes. Gonzalez was known for his survival skills and familiarity with the desert, yet he failed to return from his trek. Search teams found his backpack and water bottle near a dune, but Gonzalez himself was never located. 4. Unexplained phenomena or logical explanations. What links these disappearances? While some cases can be attributed to natural causes, dehydration, disorientation, and extreme heat. Others remain shrouded in mystery. The abrupt endings to tracks, abandoned belongings, and lack of remains in some instances have led to speculation about supernatural or extraterrestrial involvement. One intriguing theory involves Death Valley's magnetic anomalies. Some scientists speculate that unusual magnetic fields in the area could interfere with navigation equipment or even disorient individuals, causing them to lose their way. Another theory suggests hidden caves or sinkholes as potential traps for unwary travelers. Others believe the answer lies in human error. Poor planning, overconfidence, and a lack of respect for the valley's dangers have led many into fatal situations. Still, the patterns and similarities among certain cases leave room for more questions than answers. 5. The legacy of these cases. Each disappearance adds to the mystique of Death Valley, drawing adventurers, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike to uncover the truth. But the valley seems to guard its secrets well, and for every clue discovered, new mysteries arise. As we piece together these stories, one thing becomes clear: Death Valley is more than just a place on a map. It is a symbol of nature's overwhelming power and humanity's insatiable curiosity, a combination that often leads to tragedy. Survivors and eyewitness accounts of Death Valley's mysteries. While many stories of Death Valley's vanished caravans and expeditions end in tragedy, there are rare instances where survivors lived to tell their tales. These first-hand accounts provide invaluable insight into the challenges of navigating one of the world's most treacherous landscapes. But they also deepen the mystery, as survivors often report unexplained phenomena and eerie experiences that defy logic. 1. The harrowing escape of the Lost 49ers. The story of the Lost 49ers is well documented, but few know about the individuals who survived to recount their ordeal. William Lewis Manley, one of the group's key survivors, left behind a vivid memoir titled Death Valley in '49. According to Manley, the group initially believed they had discovered a shortcut to California's goldfields, but their optimism quickly turned to despair as they entered Death Valley. Manley described the unbearable heat, the shimmering mirages, and the overwhelming sense of isolation. He and another survivor, John Haney Rogers, took on the daunting task of finding help. The two men walked over 250 miles through the desert, enduring dehydration, blistering sun, and near starvation. They eventually reached the outskirts of the San Fernando Valley, where they secured supplies and returned to rescue the remaining members of their group. While Manley's account is a testament to human resilience, it also includes eerie details. He reported strange sounds echoing across the desert at night, low, mournful wails that seemed to come from nowhere. Some have dismissed these sounds as the howling of wind through the mountains, but others believe they were something more sinister. 2. The mysterious encounter of Carl Sinnett. In the early 20th century, a prospector named Carl Sinnett claimed to have narrowly escaped death in Death Valley under bizarre circumstances. Sinnett had ventured into the valley alone in search of gold, bringing only minimal supplies. After several days of exploration, Sinnett became disoriented. His water supply ran out, and he began to experience hallucinations, a common symptom of dehydration. However, Sinnett's story took an unusual turn. He reported seeing a shadowy figure watching him from the cliffs above. According to Sinnett, the figure guided him toward a hidden spring, saving his life. When he tried to approach the figure to express his gratitude, it vanished. Skeptics have attributed this encounter to hallucinations brought on by heat and exhaustion. but Sennett remained adamant that he had been helped by a mysterious presence. 3. The testimony of miners and explorers. During Death Valley's mining boom in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, many miners reported strange occurrences. Some spoke of hearing footsteps in the night, despite being miles from any other human settlements. Others claimed to see unexplained lights flickering across the desert floor. One miner, Thomas Shapiro, recounted an encounter in the 1890s that left him shaken. Shapiro and his team were exploring a remote canyon when they heard a series of loud, metallic clangs echoing through the air. When they followed the sound, they discovered an abandoned mine shaft with no visible source for the noise. The group spent the night near the site, but their sleep was interrupted by a high-pitched whistling that seemed to come from all directions. The next morning, they found strange tracks in the sand near their camp, tracks that did not match any known animal or human footprints. 4. Eyewitness accounts of the racetrack playa. The racetrack playa is one of Death Valley's most intriguing locations. Known for its mysterious sailing stones that move across the desert floor, seemingly on their own. While modern research has offered plausible explanations involving ice and wind, early witnesses to this phenomenon had no such scientific context. One hiker in the 1930s described seeing a stone move in real time. According to his account, the stone shifted several feet across the ground, without any visible force acting on it. The witness reported feeling a sudden drop in temperature and an overwhelming sense of unease during the event. Such accounts have fueled theories about magnetic anomalies or even paranormal activity in the region. While science has since demystified much of the sailing stone's behavior, these early testimonies remain a compelling part of Death Valley's lore. 5. Survivors' reflections on the valley's power. Despite the terror and hardship faced by survivors, many speak of Death Valley with a sense of reverence. William Lewis Manley, for instance, described the valley as a place of both unimaginable cruelty and awe-inspiring beauty. Others have echoed this sentiment. Survivors often talk about the humbling experience of confronting nature's raw power, where the smallest mistakes can have life or death consequences. For some, the valley represents a test of the human spirit, a place where only the strongest or the luckiest can emerge unscathed. These survivor accounts remind us that Death Valley is more than just a deadly landscape. It's a place that challenges the mind as much as the body, revealing both the fragility and the resilience of those who dare to face it. And yet, for every story of survival, there are countless others that remain untold, hidden in the sands of Death Valley, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover them. The harsh environment and natural phenomena as possible causes. Death Valley's reputation as a perilous place is well earned. The extreme environment itself may hold the key to understanding many of the mysterious disappearances in the region. From the scorching heat to the deceptive terrain, Death Valley's natural elements create a perfect storm of danger that can quickly overwhelm even the most prepared travelers. 1. Extreme temperatures and dehydration. One of the most obvious and deadly challenges in Death Valley is its extreme heat, with summer temperatures often exceeding 120 degrees Fahrenheit (49 degrees Celsius), and ground temperatures reaching up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit (93 degrees Celsius. The human body is pushed to its limits. Dehydration can set in quickly under these conditions. A person can lose up to a gallon of water per day through sweat alone, and without proper hydration. The effects of heat exhaustion and heat stroke become life-threatening. Victims often experience dizziness, confusion, and impaired judgment, symptoms that can lead to fatal decisions. such as wandering off the trail or abandoning supplies. In such conditions, survival depends on careful planning. However, many travelers underestimate the severity of Death Valley's heat, carrying insufficient water or venturing out during the hottest parts of the day. These mistakes have claimed countless lives, and may explain many of the mysterious disappearances. 2. The mirage effect and disorientation. The heat of Death Valley can create optical illusions known as mirages. These illusions occur when the sun heats the ground, causing light rays to bend and distort the appearance of the landscape. Travelers may see what looks like water shimmering in the distance, only to find endless stretches of dry salt flats upon closer inspection. Mirages can lead disoriented individuals further into danger, as they chase after non-existent resources or landmarks, combined with the valley's vast, featureless terrain. These illusions make navigation incredibly difficult. Without clear markers or landmarks, it's easy to become lost, a situation that has led to the demise of many who ventured into the desert unprepared. 3. Flash floods in an arid land. Though Death Valley is one of the driest places on Earth, it is not immune to sudden and intense rainstorms. When rain does fall, the dry, compacted soil is unable to absorb water quickly, leading to flash floods. These floods can sweep through canyons and low-lying areas, with incredible force, carrying debris and leaving little time for escape. In 2015, a rare storm brought record-breaking rainfall to Death Valley, resulting in significant flooding. Roads were washed away, and several areas of the valley became inaccessible for months. Such events demonstrate the power of nature in this seemingly lifeless land. For those caught in these floods, survival depends on immediate action, something that's nearly impossible without prior knowledge of the valley's flood-prone areas. 4. The psychological toll of isolation. The vast emptiness of Death Valley takes a psychological toll on those who enter. The isolation, combined with the oppressive heat and silence, can create a sense of unease and vulnerability. In such an environment, small problems, like a flat tire or a wrong turn, can quickly escalate into life-threatening situations. Psychological stress can impair decision-making, leading travelers to panic or take irrational actions. Some may abandon their vehicles in search of help, only to find themselves even further from safety. Others may become paralyzed by fear, unable to act at all. This mental strain may explain some of the more puzzling disappearances, where travelers were found far from their intended routes or without vital supplies. 5. The hidden dangers of the terrain. Death Valley's landscape is as deceptive as it is dangerous. Salt flats, such as the famous Badwater Basin, appear solid, but can conceal deep pockets of mud. Travelers attempting to cross these flats may become trapped, unable to free themselves without assistance. The rocky terrain of the Panamint Mountains and other ranges is equally hazardous. Loose gravel, steep cliffs, and hidden crevices pose risks for hikers and climbers. Even a minor injury in such a remote area can become life-threatening, as rescue efforts are complicated by the region's isolation. 6. Scientific explanations for Death Valley's mysteries. Many of Death Valley's mysteries, including the infamous sailing stones of racetrack playa, can now be explained through science. Researchers have determined that these stones move due to a combination of ice, wind, and the valley's unique environmental conditions. However, these explanations do not account for the human tragedies that have occurred in the region. While some theories suggest magnetic anomalies or geological phenomena may disorient travelers, the most likely culprits remain the valley's extreme heat, rugged terrain, and lack of resources. These natural factors create an environment where even small mistakes can have devastating consequences. Nature is a formidable force, and Death Valley serves as a stark reminder of its power. While the valley's natural phenomena may explain some of the disappearances, they also highlight the importance of preparation and respect for the environment. Those who underestimate Death Valley often pay the ultimate price, leaving behind stories that fuel its enduring mystique. The mysterious local legends of Death Valley. Death Valley's harsh environment and haunting beauty have given rise to numerous legends, myths, and stories passed down through generations. These tales, often steeped in mystery and superstition, add another layer of intrigue to an already enigmatic landscape. From ghostly apparitions to hidden cities, the legends of Death Valley reflect humanity's deep fascination with the unknown. 1. The Ghosts of the Lost 49ers. One of the most enduring legends tied to Death Valley is the ghostly presence of the Lost 49ers. Survivors of this ill-fated group described hearing strange sounds during their ordeal, low, mournful wails that echoed across the valley at night. Over time, these accounts evolved into tales of wandering spirits, said to haunt the valley in search of salvation they never found. Campers and hikers have reported hearing disembodied voices and footsteps in the remote areas of Death Valley. Some claim to see shadowy figures moving across the salt flats, disappearing as suddenly as they appeared. While skeptics attribute these phenomena to natural sounds or optical illusions, others believe they are the restless spirits of those who perished in the valley. 2. The Legend of the Burning Wagon. The Burning Wagon is a chilling tale that dates back to the late 19th century. According to local lore, a group of settlers attempted to cross Death Valley during the hottest part of the summer. As their supplies dwindled, the settlers grew desperate, fearing their journey would end in failure. They reportedly set fire to their wagons to signal for help. However, no one came to their rescue. The settlers succumbed to the heat, their charred wagons left as a grim monument to their fate. To this day, travelers claim to see ghostly flames flickering on the horizon at night, a phenomenon locals call the burning wagon. Scientists suggest these lights could be caused by natural gas emissions or atmospheric conditions, but the legend persists as a reminder of Death Valley's unforgiving nature. 3. The Underground City of Shin-O Avenue. Among the most fantastical legends associated with Death Valley is the story of Shin-O Avenue, a hidden underground city said to be located beneath the valley floor. This legend originates from Native American folklore, particularly the Paiute tribe, who speak of an advanced civilization living in subterranean chambers. According to the tale, Shin-O Avenue is a place of great beauty and wealth, inhabited by beings who possess knowledge far beyond that of humans. Some versions of the story suggest that travelers who disappear in Death Valley are taken to Shin-O Avenue, never to return. In the early 20th century, a prospector named Tom Wilson claimed that his grandfather, a Paiute elder, had been taken to the underground city by mysterious guides. Wilson spent years searching for the entrance to Shin-O Avenue but never found it. His story inspired others to explore the valley in search of the mythical city, though no evidence of its existence has ever been uncovered. 4. The Curse of the Death Valley Germans. In 1996, the tragic disappearance of a German family in Death Valley gave rise to a modern legend. When their remains were discovered years later, locals began to whisper about a curse that befell those who ventured into the valley unprepared. The legend suggests that the valley claims those who disrespect its power, punishing arrogance and hubris. while the curse is likely a metaphor for the dangers of underestimating Death Valley's environment. It has taken on a life of its own in local storytelling. Visitors are warned to tread carefully and show respect for the land, or risk becoming part of its lore. 5. The moving stones and alien theories. The racetrack playa, with its mysterious moving stones, has sparked numerous theories ranging from the scientific to the supernatural. Before researchers discovered the role of ice and wind in moving the stones, locals believed they were guided by unseen forces. Some legends attribute the phenomenon to spirits or curses, while others suggest extraterrestrial involvement. UFO enthusiasts have speculated that the stones are evidence of alien activity, pointing to the proximity of Death Valley to other hotspots like Area 51. Even with scientific explanations, the stones continue to captivate imaginations. Their slow, deliberate paths etched into the desert floor feel almost purposeful, fueling the sense of mystery surrounding them. 6. The Timbisha Shoshone's sacred connection. For the Timbisha Shoshone people, Death Valley is not just a dangerous place, it is a sacred land. Their legends speak of a deep spiritual connection to the valley, viewing it as a place of both life and death. One story tells of the coyote spirit, a trickster figure who lures travelers into danger as a test of their character. Those who prove themselves worthy are said to find hidden springs or safe passage, while the unworthy are left to perish. These tales emphasize respect for the natural world, and the importance of humility when facing its challenges. For the Timbisha Shoshone, the valley's dangers are not curses, but lessons, teaching humanity to coexist with nature rather than conquer it. Death Valley's local legends remind us that stories hold power, shaping how we perceive and interact with the world around us. Whether rooted in fact, folklore, or fear, these tales continue to draw visitors to the valley, searching for answers to its enduring mysteries. Theories of foreign or third-party involvement in Death Valley disappearances. As with many unsolved mysteries, speculation abounds regarding the true causes of Death Valley's many disappearances. While most explanations can be traced to natural causes or human error, some theories suggest that the hand of a third party, whether foreign agents, local inhabitants, or even secret organizations, may have been involved in the fate of lost travelers. These theories delve into the realm of the unknown and challenge our understanding of Death Valley as merely a deadly desert. 1. The influence of early explorers and foreign powers. The idea that foreign powers could have had an interest in Death Valley is not a new one. In the early 20th century, as the United States expanded its reach across the American West, tensions arose over the control of resources, land, and territory. Some historians suggest that foreign agents may have been sent into the region to monitor, or even sabotage mining operations or settler activities. During the height of Death Valley's mining boom in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, rumors circulated about European spies or even Asian operatives infiltrating the region. These individuals were purportedly sent to disrupt or claim mineral wealth in the valley, especially the borax deposits, which were highly valuable at the time. One theory posits that certain disappearances were not accidents, but instead the result of covert activities aimed at preventing competition. Foreign agents, the theory suggests, could have lured prospectors into dangerous areas, ensuring that they either perished or never returned. While there is no concrete evidence to support such claims, the mystery of certain missing mining parties continues to fuel suspicions. 2. The secret operations of the U.S. government. Another popular theory suggests that the U.S. government itself may have been involved in some of the disappearances, particularly during the Cold War era. During this time, the United States was engaged in numerous covert operations, and Death Valley's remote and uninhabited terrain made it the perfect place for secret military testing, surveillance, or even the disposal of evidence. Some theorists claim that certain disappearances could have been the result of government experimentation, particularly with chemical or biological agents. The theory holds that groups of civilians, possibly unaware of the experiments being conducted, ventured into these restricted areas, only to disappear without a trace. The concept of secret military testing in Death Valley was supported by reports of mysterious lights and unusual sounds heard by locals in the mid-20th century. These events could be linked to government activities at nearby military sites, such as the China Lake Naval Air Weapons Station, which conducts experimental weaponry testing. The idea is that the government might have chosen to keep its activities under wraps, possibly at the cost of civilian lives. 3. The role of local Native American tribes. In addition to foreign and governmental involvement, theories surrounding local Native American tribes also arise in discussions of disappearances in Death Valley. The region is home to the Timbisha Shoshone people, whose ancestors have lived in the valley for thousands of years. According to some local legends, there are areas of the valley that are considered sacred or taboo, where outsiders are warned not to venture. One such area is known as the Devil's Hole, a deep cavern located in the desert. Some stories suggest that those who stray too far into the forbidden regions of the valley are either lured away by supernatural forces, or are driven mad by the land's overwhelming power. While this belief is deeply rooted in the tribe's spiritual worldview, it has given rise to speculation that Native American tribes may have played a role in the disappearances. Some theories suggest that members of the Timbisha, Shoshone or other neighboring tribes were responsible for leading travelers astray, or even interfering with their progress in the valley. These theories often arise from historical conflicts between Native Americans and settlers, where it is believed that tribes would have gone to great lengths to protect their land and sacred spaces. While there is no definitive proof of direct involvement in the disappearances, these theories reflect the tension between indigenous peoples and newcomers to the region. Some local Native American accounts suggest that the valley has always been a place of mystery and danger, one where the land itself might react to the presence of outsiders. 4. The involvement of unknown or secret societies. A more outlandish theory, but one that has persisted in certain circles, is the involvement of secret societies in the mysterious disappearances in Death Valley. This theory postulates that ancient or covert organizations, whether from the early days of European exploration or more recent clandestine groups, may have used the valley for mysterious purposes. Some theorists believe that Death Valley served as a site for occult rituals or secret meetings among members of esoteric societies. These groups, according to the theory, may have intentionally sought out or sacrificed travelers as part of strange rites or as a method of maintaining secrecy. One popular variation of this theory suggests that the famous sailing stones in Racetrack Playa are not simply a natural phenomenon, but part of a secret signal system used by these societies. The stones, which mysteriously move across the desert floor, could have been manipulated as markers for secret locations or as a form of communication. This theory, though widely dismissed by scientists, continues to intrigue those who believe that something more supernatural or conspiratorial is at play. 5. Extraterrestrial theories. Perhaps the most persistent and fantastical speculation surrounding Death Valley's disappearances is the idea of extraterrestrial involvement. This theory connects the valley with nearby UFO hotspots, such as Area 51 and other rumored sites of alien activity. Proponents of this theory suggest that aliens have been responsible for the disappearances, either abducting travelers for research purposes or deliberately causing them to vanish. Some reports of strange lights in the sky or unusual atmospheric disturbances in Death Valley have only fueled these claims. The idea that Death Valley is a focal point for UFO sightings and extraterrestrial activity gained traction in the 1960s and 1970s, when several high-profile UFO incidents occurred in the region. Some witnesses claim to have seen strange craft hovering over the desert, disappearing into the horizon or even landing on the ground. These reports, combined with the unexplained nature of certain disappearances, have led some to believe that alien involvement cannot be ruled out. While mainstream scientists and government officials have dismissed these claims as unfounded, the allure of extraterrestrial explanations continues to captivate the imaginations of conspiracy theorists. For them, the question of whether humans are alone in the universe is just as important as the mysteries surrounding Death Valley's many lost souls. Theories of foreign involvement, governmental secrecy, and even extraterrestrial forces remind us that Death Valley is not merely a deadly desert. It is a place that stirs the imagination and invites speculation. While the true causes behind the valley's many disappearances may never be fully understood, these theories continue to fuel our curiosity and our thirst for answers. Ancient artifacts unearthed in Death Valley. Death Valley, with its stark and desolate landscape, may seem devoid of history, but hidden beneath its sands lies a wealth of ancient artifacts. These remnants of past civilizations offer tantalizing glimpses into the lives of those who once called this unforgiving region home. From tools and pottery to mysterious carvings, the artifacts discovered in Death Valley shed light on the human ingenuity that thrived in a place where survival seemed impossible. 1. The legacy of the Timbisha Shoshone. The Timbisha Shoshone people have lived in Death Valley for thousands of years, and their artifacts are among the most significant finds in the region. These items provide a window into how the Timbisha adapted to the valley's extreme environment, using its sparse resources to create a sustainable way of life. Archaeologists have uncovered stone tools, grinding stones, and pottery fragments that hint at the resourcefulness of the Timbisha. For example, they crafted grinding stones to process mesquite pods into flour, a staple of their diet. They also created intricate basketry, some of which has survived due to the valley's dry climate. Rock art, or petroglyphs, is another enduring legacy of the Timbisha Shoshone. Found etched into canyon walls and boulders, these carvings often depict animals, human figures, and abstract patterns. While the exact meanings of these petroglyphs remain a subject of debate, many researchers believe they were used for spiritual or ceremonial purposes. 2. The mysterious, lost civilization. Some of the most intriguing artifacts discovered in Death Valley are linked to theories about a lost civilization that may have existed in the region thousands of years ago. In the early 20th century, rumors began to circulate about a prospector who claimed to have found a series of underground chambers filled with artifacts, including weapons, tools, and even mummified remains. This story, often referred to as the lost civilization of Death Valley, has sparked numerous expeditions, though no definitive evidence has been found. However, some researchers have pointed to unusual artifacts discovered in the valley, such as oversized stone tools and strangely shaped carvings, as possible hints of an advanced, ancient society. One particularly curious find was a set of large stone spheres, discovered in a remote part of the valley. These spheres, which appear to have been shaped by human hands, have baffled archaeologists. Their purpose remains unknown, though some speculate they may have been used in religious rituals or as markers for celestial events. 3. The tools and weapons of early prospectors. While Death Valley's ancient history is rich, more recent artifacts tell the story of the pioneers and miners who sought to tame its harsh landscape. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Death Valley was a hotspot for mining activity, particularly for borax, a mineral used in a variety of industrial applications. Abandoned mining equipment, rusted tools, and fragments of campsites can still be found scattered across the valley. These items offer a glimpse into the grueling conditions faced by miners who endured blistering heat and isolation in their quest for riches. One of the most iconic relics of this era is the 20-mule team wagons, used to transport borax from the valley to distant railroads. These massive wooden wagons, some of which have been preserved as historical artifacts, symbolize the resilience and determination of those who braved Death Valley's extremes. 4. Recent discoveries of burial sites. In addition to tools and pottery, several burial sites have been uncovered in Death Valley. These sites, often marked by carefully arranged stones, contain human remains that provide insight into the burial practices of the region's early inhabitants. One notable discovery was a burial site found near Stovepipe Wells. The remains, believed to be over 1,000 years old, were accompanied by grave goods such as beads, shell jewelry, and animal bones. These items suggest that the people who lived in Death Valley held spiritual beliefs about the afterlife and honored their dead with offerings. Interestingly, some burial sites have been linked to the legends of the valley's lost caravans, skeletal remains found in remote areas, far from any known trails. Raise questions about how these individuals came to rest in such desolate locations. Were they pioneers who succumbed to the elements? Or do their deaths hint at something more mysterious? 5. The preservation of artifacts in Death Valley. One reason Death Valley has yielded so many well-preserved artifacts is its unique climate. The arid conditions and lack of moisture slow the process of decay, allowing organic materials like wood, cloth, and even human remains to survive for centuries. For archaeologists, this makes Death Valley an invaluable site for studying ancient cultures and historical events. However, the same climate that preserves these artifacts also makes their discovery challenging. Shifting sands, harsh winds, and remote locations mean that many treasures remain hidden, waiting for the right conditions to reveal themselves. 6. Challenges of artifact recovery. Despite the wealth of discoveries in Death Valley, recovering artifacts is no easy task. The extreme heat and isolation make fieldwork physically demanding, while the fragile nature of many artifacts requires careful handling. Additionally, the Timbisha Shoshone people have voiced concerns about the excavation of their ancestral lands. As a result, many archaeological projects are conducted in partnership with the tribe, ensuring that their cultural heritage is respected and preserved. The artifacts found in Death Valley are more than just relics of the past, they are pieces of a puzzle that reveal the ingenuity, resilience, and mystery of the people who once inhabited this harsh landscape. As more discoveries are made, the valley's history continues to unfold, offering new insights into a region that has long captured the imagination of explorers, historians, and adventurers alike. Insights from modern technology in Death Valley investigations. As mysterious as Death Valley is, Modern technology has begun to shed light on some of its secrets. Advanced tools and techniques are helping researchers uncover new information about the region's history, geology, and the enduring mysteries that have baffled investigators for centuries. From satellite imagery to ground-penetrating radar, these cutting-edge methods are revolutionizing our understanding of Death Valley's hidden world. 1. Mapping the landscape with satellite imagery. One of the most significant advancements in Death Valley research has been the use of satellite imagery. High-resolution images captured from space allow scientists to map the valley's vast and diverse terrain with remarkable detail. These maps reveal features that were previously invisible to the naked eye, such as ancient riverbeds, hidden caves, and subtle changes in the landscape. In recent years, researchers have used satellite data to identify potential archaeological sites by analyzing the distribution of certain patterns, such as linear features that might indicate trails or clustered anomalies that could be man-made structures. Scientists have pinpointed locations worth exploring on foot. Satellite imagery has also been instrumental in understanding the valley's geological history. For example, it has helped trace the paths of ancient lakes that once covered parts of Death Valley, offering clues about how early inhabitants might have lived in a wetter, more hospitable environment. 2. Ground-penetrating radar and subsurface discoveries. Ground-penetrating radar (GPR) has become a game-changer for archaeological investigations in Death Valley. This technology uses electromagnetic waves to detect objects, structures, and changes in soil composition beneath the surface. One of the most intriguing applications of GPR in Death Valley has been the search for buried artifacts and hidden chambers. Researchers have used this technology to scan areas near known petroglyph sites, uncovering previously unknown layers of cultural material. In some cases, GPR has revealed what appear to be ancient storage pits or ceremonial spaces, long buried under shifting sands. GPR has also been used to locate potential burial sites. In 2019, a team of archaeologists used the technology to map a section of the valley near Furnace Creek. Their findings included several subsurface anomalies consistent with graves, though further excavation is needed to confirm these results. 3. Drones and aerial surveys. The introduction of drones has revolutionized fieldwork in Death Valley, allowing researchers to access areas that were previously too remote or dangerous to explore. Equipped with high-definition cameras and thermal imaging sensors, drones can capture detailed footage of the valley's terrain from above. Drones have been particularly useful in studying the racetrack, playa, and its mysterious sailing stones. By using time-lapse photography and thermal imaging, researchers were able to observe the conditions that cause the stones to move, confirming that a combination of thin ice sheets and wind is responsible for the phenomenon. Additionally, drones have uncovered hidden petroglyphs and rock formations in remote canyons, providing valuable data about the region's cultural and geological history. These discoveries highlight the potential for drones to continue revealing Death Valley's hidden treasures. 4. Lidar scanning and 3D modeling. Lidar light detection and ranging technology has been another transformative tool for Death Valley research. By using laser pulses to measure distances and create 3D models of the landscape, lidar provides an incredibly accurate picture of the valley's topography. Lidar has been used to uncover faint traces of ancient trails and pathways, some of which were likely used by the Timbisha Shoshone and early settlers. These trails offer valuable insights into how people navigated the valley's challenging terrain, as well as the locations of water sources and other critical resources. 3D modeling has also allowed researchers to digitally reconstruct archaeological sites, preserving their details for future study. This is especially important in Death Valley, where erosion and human activity can threaten the integrity of fragile artifacts and features. 5. Climate analysis and environmental studies. Modern technology has also enabled scientists to better understand Death Valley's climate and its impact on the region's history. By studying sediment samples and isotopic data, researchers have reconstructed the valley's climatic changes over thousands of years. These studies reveal that Death Valley was once a much wetter environment, with large lakes and abundant vegetation. This shift from a lush ecosystem to the arid desert we see today has profound implications for understanding how ancient peoples adapted to the changing landscape. Climate analysis has also helped explain some of the valley's more mysterious phenomena, such as its deadly heat waves and sudden flash floods. By modeling these events, researchers can predict how the valley's environment might change in the future and what risks it poses to visitors and researchers. 6. Unraveling mysteries through multidisciplinary research. One of the most exciting aspects of modern Death Valley research is the collaboration between different scientific disciplines. Archaeologists, geologists, climate scientists, and even forensic experts are working together to solve the valley's enduring mysteries. For example, forensic techniques have been used to analyze skeletal remains found in the valley, providing clues about the identities and causes of death of long-lost travelers. In one case, DNA testing helped confirm that remains discovered near stovepipe wells belonged to a pioneer family that vanished in the 1850s. Multidisciplinary research has also been applied to the search for the legendary underground city of Shin-O Avenue. By combining GPR, lidar, and archaeological methods, scientists hope to either confirm or debunk the existence of this mythical place. While no definitive evidence has been found, the search continues to capture imaginations worldwide. Modern technology has transformed our understanding of Death Valley, revealing secrets that were once thought to be lost forever. Yet, for every question answered, new mysteries arise, reminding us that this vast desert still holds countless stories waiting to be uncovered. The unsolved mysteries and new theories of Death Valley. Despite modern technology and scientific advancements, Death Valley continues to guard many of its secrets. From unexplained disappearances to baffling natural phenomena, the valley's enduring mysteries challenge our understanding of the world. Even as researchers make new discoveries, fresh questions arise, ensuring that Death Valley remains one of the most enigmatic places on Earth. 1. The disappearance of the German family, a modern mystery. One of the most puzzling modern cases in Death Valley is the disappearance of the German family in 1996. A couple and their 2 young children rented a vehicle and set off to explore the valley's remote backcountry. When they failed to return, a massive search effort was launched, but only their abandoned vehicle was found. It wasn't until 2009, 13 years later, that human remains were discovered in a remote canyon, believed to belong to the family. The circumstances surrounding their deaths remain unclear. Why did they leave their vehicle? Did they become disoriented or fall victim to extreme heat? Some theorists suggest that the family might have encountered foul play, while others believe they were unprepared for the valley's dangers. This case serves as a chilling reminder of how easily Death Valley can claim lives, even in the modern era. 2. The moving stones, solved but still mysterious. The phenomenon of the sailing stones on Racetrack Playa has fascinated researchers and visitors for decades. These stones, some weighing hundreds of pounds, appear to move across the dry lakebed on their own, leaving long trails in the mud. In 2014, scientists finally captured the stones in motion, using time-lapse cameras and GPS tracking devices. They discovered that thin sheets of ice form on the playa during cold nights, and as the ice melts in the morning sun, it is pushed by light winds, causing the stones to slide. While this explanation solves the mechanics of the phenomenon, it doesn't diminish its wonder. The precise conditions required for this movement are so rare that witnessing it remains an almost magical experience. 3. The underground world, legends or reality. The idea of an underground city beneath Death Valley, known as Shin-O Avenue, continues to intrigue researchers and enthusiasts. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, expeditions to locate this mythical city persist. Recent geological studies have identified vast underground caverns and lava tubes in the region, some of which remain unexplored. While these formations are natural rather than man-made, they fuel speculation that there could be more to the legend than meets the eye. New theories suggest that Shin-O Avenue might represent a symbolic or spiritual concept rather than a literal city. However, the possibility of undiscovered chambers or archaeological sites beneath the valley keeps the legend alive. 4. The Death Valley Germans and paranormal theories. Cases like the German family's disappearance have also given rise to more speculative theories. Some suggest that certain parts of Death Valley may have unusual magnetic fields or energy anomalies that disorient travelers. Paranormal enthusiasts have linked these anomalies to UFO sightings, with Death Valley often mentioned in connection with extraterrestrial activity. Reports of strange lights, unexplained sounds, and even sightings of mysterious figures in the valley fuel the belief that something otherworldly may be at play. While such claims are largely dismissed by scientists, they reflect humanity's enduring desire to find meaning in the unknown. 5. The role of human error in modern mysteries. Despite the allure of supernatural explanations, many modern mysteries in Death Valley are likely the result of human error. The valley's extreme environment punishes even the smallest mistakes. Travelers who overestimate their abilities, underestimate the heat, or fail to bring enough supplies can quickly find themselves in life-threatening situations. One theory proposes that many disappearances occur because people stray from their vehicles in search of help. In the oppressive heat, dehydration and disorientation set in rapidly, leading to fatal outcomes. This is supported by the discovery of bodies or remains far from abandoned vehicles, suggesting that victims became lost or collapsed before they could find assistance. 6. New hypotheses about ancient habitation. While Death Valley is a challenging place to live today, new research suggests that ancient peoples thrived here during wetter periods in the region's history. The discovery of ancient lake beds and fossilized plant remains indicates that the valley was once a lush environment. Some researchers hypothesize that early inhabitants may have left behind clues to their survival strategies hidden in unexplored parts of the valley. These strategies could include the use of hidden springs, seasonal migration patterns, or advanced water storage techniques. 7. The enduring mystique of Death Valley. Ultimately, Death Valley's mysteries may never be fully solved. The sheer scale of the valley, combined with its extreme environment, makes it unlikely that all of its secrets will be uncovered. But perhaps that's part of what makes Death Valley so compelling. Its vastness and danger remind us of the limits of human knowledge and the power of nature. For every answer we find, new questions emerge, ensuring that Death Valley remains a place of wonder and intrigue for generations to come. Death Valley continues to capture the imagination of adventurers, scientists, and storytellers alike. Its mysteries, both ancient and modern, challenge us to push the boundaries of exploration and understanding. As technology advances and new discoveries are made, one thing is certain: Death Valley will never cease to fascinate those who dare to seek its secrets. Lessons from history about the power of nature. Death Valley's history is not just a chronicle of human survival, it is a testament to the sheer power and unpredictability of nature. The stories of those who dared to traverse its hostile terrain remind us of nature's ability to humble even the most determined and resourceful individuals. In an age of technological advancements, these lessons remain as relevant as ever, serving as cautionary tales about respecting the forces beyond our control. 1. The Lost 49ers and the Perils of Hubris. The story of the Lost 49ers is perhaps the most iconic example of nature's dominance in Death Valley. These gold rush pioneers, eager to reach California's riches, chose to rely on an unproven shortcut instead of established routes. Their overconfidence in their ability to conquer the valley's extremes led to tragedy. The 49ers' ordeal underscores a timeless lesson: underestimating the environment can have catastrophic consequences. In their desperation to escape, they depleted their resources and pushed themselves to the brink of survival. Their experience serves as a warning against arrogance when confronting the unknown. 2. The unyielding climate as a natural barrier. Death Valley's climate is a powerful force in its own right. The valley holds the record for the highest air temperature ever reliably measured on Earth: 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 56.7 degrees Celsius. These extreme conditions act as a natural barrier, deterring all but the most prepared adventurers. For centuries, this climate has shaped the lives of those who inhabited or ventured into the valley. The Timbisha Shoshone adapted by developing sustainable practices, while miners and settlers struggled to endure its challenges. The heat, aridity, and sudden storms have claimed countless lives, serving as stark reminders of nature's indifference to human ambitions. 3. Flash floods, the unexpected threat. While Death Valley is best known for its scorching heat, its flash floods are equally deadly. The dry desert soil cannot absorb heavy rainfall, turning brief storms into torrents of rushing water that carve through the landscape with astonishing speed and power. One of the most dramatic examples of this occurred in 2015, when a rare storm caused massive flooding that washed out roads, destroyed infrastructure, and transformed the valley's dry expanses into temporary lakes. These floods are a reminder that even in the driest places on Earth, water can be a destructive force. For those traveling through Death Valley, flash floods highlight the importance of vigilance and preparation. Knowing where and when these floods might occur can mean the difference between life and death. 4. The balance between beauty and danger. Death Valley is a land of contrasts. Its stark, desolate beauty draws countless visitors, but its dangers are ever present. This duality serves as a powerful metaphor for the relationship between humanity and nature. The things we find most awe-inspiring often carry the greatest risks. The racetrack play as mysterious moving stones, the colorful badlands of Zabriskie Point, and the mesmerizing salt flats of Badwater Basin are breathtaking sights. Yet, each of these locations poses unique challenges, from extreme temperatures to hazardous terrain. This balance between beauty and danger teaches us to approach nature with respect. By understanding its power, we can better appreciate its wonders, while avoiding its pitfalls. 5. The role of humility in exploration. History is filled with stories of explorers who ignored warnings or dismissed the challenges of Death Valley, only to suffer the consequences. From miners seeking riches to adventurers chasing glory, Many have fallen victim to the valley's extremes, due to a lack of preparation or an underestimation of its dangers. The lesson here is clear: humility is essential when facing the natural world. Death Valley demands respect, and those who fail to give it often pay a heavy price. 6. The continuing relevance of Death Valley's lessons. In an era of climate change and environmental challenges, Death Valley's lessons are more important than ever. The valley's extremes highlight the fragility of human life in the face of nature's power, reminding us of the need to adapt and respect our environment. As we confront global challenges such as rising temperatures and dwindling resources, the stories of Death Valley's past offer valuable insights. They show us that survival requires knowledge, preparation, and a willingness to work with nature rather than against it. Death Valley's history is a vivid illustration of nature's power to inspire, challenge, and humble us. Its lessons are timeless, reminding us that while we may strive to conquer the natural world, we are ultimately subject to its whims. By learning from the past, we can forge a better relationship with the environment and ensure that future generations approach places like Death Valley with the respect they deserve. Why unsolved cases continue to captivate us. Death Valley is more than just a harsh landscape, it's a stage for some of the most intriguing unsolved mysteries in history. From lost caravans to unexplained phenomena, these unresolved cases captivate our imagination, leaving us yearning for answers. But why do these mysteries hold such a powerful grip on us? What is it about the unknown that continues to fascinate us, even in an age of scientific discovery? 1. The allure of the unknown. At the heart of our fascination with unsolved mysteries lies the allure of the unknown. Death Valley's vast, desolate terrain represents a place where conventional rules seem to break down. It's a land where people vanish without a trace, stones move on their own, and legends of hidden cities persist despite the lack of evidence. This sense of mystery taps into a deep-seated human desire to explore and understand. The unanswered questions surrounding Death Valley's mysteries invite speculation, encouraging us to imagine scenarios that range from the plausible to the fantastical. For example, the disappearance of the Bennett Arcane Party remains a source of endless curiosity. The cryptic diary entries left behind, describing eerie feelings of being watched, have led to theories involving everything from natural phenomena to supernatural forces. Each new piece of evidence, or lack thereof, fuels our imagination and keeps the story alive. 2. The thrill of piecing together clues. Unsolved cases often provide tantalizing fragments of information, challenging us to piece together the puzzle. In Death Valley, these clues might include abandoned wagons, skeletal remains, or peculiar markings on the ground. Each artifact or discovery offers a potential key to solving the mystery, but the answers remain just out of reach. Forensic analysis has added a modern dimension to these investigations. In cases like the disappearance of the German family, DNA testing and satellite imagery have provided new insights, but they have also raised more questions. Why did the family leave their vehicle? What caused them to become disoriented? These lingering uncertainties keep us engaged as we attempt to connect the dots ourselves. The process of theorizing and investigating becomes a collaborative effort, with historians, scientists, and enthusiasts all contributing their perspectives. This collective search for answers turns unsolved mysteries into shared stories, drawing us into a community of curiosity. 3. The emotional connection to tragedy. Behind every unsolved mystery is a human story, a tale of individuals who faced extraordinary circumstances. These personal narratives create an emotional connection, making the mysteries feel both relatable and haunting. Take the story of the lost 49ers. The image of pioneers struggling to survive in an unforgiving desert resonates deeply, evoking empathy for their plight. Similarly, the case of the German family highlights the fragility of human life, reminding us of how easily things can go wrong in an unfamiliar environment. These emotional connections make the mysteries more than abstract puzzles. They become stories of perseverance, loss, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. They challenge us to consider what we might have done in the same situation, and to reflect on the resilience required to face such challenges. 4. The role of legends and folklore. Unsolved mysteries often blur the line between fact and folklore, and Death Valley is no exception. The valley's legends, from the underground city of Shin-O Avenue to the ghostly figures of the lost 49ers, add a layer of myth to the real-life events. These stories are not merely embellishments, they serve as a way for communities to make sense of the unknown. They provide frameworks for understanding events that defy explanation, turning confusion into narrative. In the case of Death Valley, these legends also amplify its mystique. The idea of a cursed land or a supernatural presence lurking in the desert heightens the stakes, making the mysteries even more compelling. Whether or not we believe these tales, they enrich the landscape with meaning and imagination. 5. The challenge to science and reason. Death Valley's unsolved cases also present a challenge to science and reason. In an era where technology and knowledge seem to have answers for everything, these mysteries remind us of the limits of human understanding. For example, the phenomenon of the sailing stones puzzled scientists for decades. Before it was explained, it seemed to defy the laws of physics, prompting speculation about magnetic fields, supernatural forces, or alien activity. Even now, with the mechanics of the phenomenon understood, it remains a symbol of nature's ability to surprise and mystify us. This tension between the known and the unknown invites us to question what else might be lurking beyond our current understanding. It reminds us that the world is still full of surprises, waiting to be uncovered. 6. The timeless appeal of mystery. Finally, the appeal of unsolved cases lies in their timelessness. Unlike solved mysteries, which lose their intrigue once the answers are found, unsolved cases continue to evolve. New discoveries, reinterpretations, and theories keep the stories alive, ensuring that they remain part of our cultural consciousness. Death Valley's mysteries are a prime example of this enduring allure. Each new expedition, each new piece of evidence, rekindles interest in these age-old questions. Whether it's the search for Shin-O Avenue, or the investigation into modern disappearances, the mysteries of Death Valley remind us that some stories are never truly over. Unsolved mysteries capture our imagination because they invite us to explore, speculate, and connect with the unknown. In Death Valley, these mysteries take on a unique significance, reflecting humanity's eternal struggle to understand a world that often resists explanation. As long as questions remain unanswered, the allure of Death Valley's secrets will continue to draw us in, challenging us to confront the limits of our knowledge and embrace the wonder of the unknown. Humanity's quest for knowledge and the forgotten past. Humanity has always been driven by a desire to explore the unknown, uncover secrets, and reconnect with the past. In Death Valley, this innate curiosity is amplified by the mysteries that lie hidden beneath its scorching sands and barren landscapes. The valley's history is a testament to the human spirit of discovery and a reminder of the fragility of the past. As we seek answers to its riddles, we are also uncovering lost chapters of human history, inspiring new generations to push the boundaries of knowledge. 1. The call of the unknown. Throughout history, humans have been drawn to places that challenge their understanding of the world. From the depths of the ocean to the vastness of space, the unknown has always captivated us. Death Valley, with its extreme environment and enigmatic stories, represents one of Earth's final frontiers, a place where questions outnumber answers. Explorers, scientists, and adventurers are driven by this same curiosity. What lies beneath the valley's salt flats? Who were the people who left behind the petroglyphs and artifacts scattered throughout the region? What secrets do the mysterious disappearances hold? These questions fuel the quest to unravel Death Valley's mysteries, each discovery bringing us closer to understanding the forces that shaped its history. 2. Reconnecting with forgotten cultures. One of the most compelling aspects of Death Valley's exploration is the opportunity to reconnect with cultures that have long since vanished. The Timbisha Shoshone people, who continue to live in the region, offer invaluable insights into how their ancestors survived and thrived in such a harsh environment. Their stories, traditions, and artifacts serve as a bridge to the past, revealing how early inhabitants adapted to the valley's extremes. Archaeological discoveries, such as ancient tools and burial sites, further illuminate the daily lives, spiritual beliefs, and survival strategies of these resilient communities. However, there are still gaps in our understanding. Many artifacts remain buried, and some oral histories have been lost to time. By preserving these cultural treasures and continuing to explore the valley, we honor the legacy of those who came before us. 3. The role of exploration in shaping identity. Exploration is not just about uncovering facts, it's about defining who we are as a species. The mysteries of Death Valley challenge us to confront our limitations and embrace the spirit of discovery. For early pioneers, crossing Death Valley was a test of endurance and determination. Their stories of survival and loss became part of the broader narrative of westward expansion in the United States, shaping the country's identity as a land of opportunity and resilience. Today, the quest to solve Death Valley's mysteries reflects a similar drive. As we explore its hidden corners, we are reminded of the importance of perseverance, creativity, and respect for the unknown. These qualities are central to our identity as explorers and innovators. 4. Rediscovering lost histories. Death Valley's mysteries often reveal forgotten chapters of history, shedding light on events and people that have been overlooked or misunderstood. For example, the story of the lost 49ers is more than just a tale of tragedy, it is a window into the challenges and motivations of those who sought to build new lives in an unforgiving landscape. Similarly, the valley's mining history uncovers the harsh realities faced by laborers who sought fortune in its barren hills. The remnants of abandoned mining camps and equipment tell stories of ambition, hardship, and resilience, reminding us of the human cost of progress. By piecing together these lost histories, we gain a deeper appreciation for the people who shaped Death Valley's legacy and the lessons their experiences offer for the present. 5. The interplay between myth and reality. Death Valley's mysteries blur the line between myth and reality, challenging us to distinguish between fact and fiction. Stories of an underground city, ghostly apparitions, and unexplained phenomena capture our imagination. But they also raise important questions about how history is recorded and interpreted. For instance, the legend of Shin-O Avenue might be rooted in real geological features, such as lava tubes or hidden caverns. Similarly, tales of supernatural encounters could reflect psychological responses to the valley's isolation and harsh conditions. By investigating these myths, we not only uncover truths about the valley, but also learn about the human tendency to create narratives that make sense of the unknown. 6. inspiring future generations. The mysteries of Death Valley are not just relics of the past, they are an ongoing source of inspiration for future generations. Scientists, historians, and adventurers continue to explore the valley, driven by the hope of uncovering new insights and solving age-old riddles. Advancements in technology, such as satellite imagery, ground-penetrating radar, and DNA analysis, have opened up new possibilities for discovery. These tools allow us to explore Death Valley in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago, offering fresh perspectives on its history and mysteries. At the same time, the allure of Death Valley reminds us of the importance of preserving the past. Efforts to protect its cultural and natural heritage ensure that future generations can continue to learn from its secrets and draw inspiration from its beauty. Death Valley embodies the human quest for knowledge and connection. Its mysteries challenge us to explore, question, and imagine, reminding us of the power of discovery to enrich our understanding of the world and ourselves. As we uncover its secrets, we are not just solving puzzles, we are forging a deeper connection to our shared past and the boundless possibilities of the future. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.